Hello and welcome to Songkla Rajabhat University's English for Communications 1. My name is Gary Linton. Today I'm going to talk to you about Unit 2, Jobs. So, what we'll cover in this unit. As normal, with each unit we'll go through language in use. What do you do? Talking generally about a job. We'll have a little look at grammar. We're going to look at the present simple and specifically using third person singular, he, she, and it. And we'll take a look at vocabulary, some vocabulary and phrases about work and jobs, how we use work, earn, things like that. So, let's get started with our language in use. Here are a few phrases we can use when we talk about jobs. Normally we ask people, what do you do? You could also ask, where do you work? The place rather than the actual job. And we can ask about other people, what does your father do? We can talk about types of work. I work outdoors. I like working with my hands, so the type of work you do on a computer. I get to help people. I'm stuck behind the desk. So a few phrases for different types of work. And giving our opinion on our job. What do we think about our work? That sounds like a great job. I really like helping people. Do you like working there? So phrases that you can use to ask about what people think about their job. Let's get started by looking at a few example phrases. Someone talking about their job as a teacher. I work as an English teacher in Thailand. I normally teach in a classroom, but recently I've been teaching online due to COVID. I also occasionally get to do lessons or activities outside. I really like the job as I get to help my students build a better future for themselves. To do this job, I need to be confident speaking in front of people. But the job's not all teaching. I also need to prepare my lessons, do lots of marking and grading, so I spend a lot of time at the computer doing paperwork, which I'm not such a fan of. It's a good job, but I don't earn much, so sometimes I do a little overtime or casual work to make it up. Now here, in this passage, we can see lots of phrases that we've used. So I work as an English teacher, basic introduction. I am an English teacher, I could also say. I talk about where I teach. I normally teach in a classroom, the location. I teach online and do lessons and activities outside. So these are three different locations that I can use my skills to teach. What do I think of the job? I really like the job. And I give a reason. I get to help my students. Some of the skills and things about the job, you have to be confident speaking in front of people. So teaching is a lot about communication and being able to help your students to understand. I also, things I do in my job, lots of marking and grading. So not only working outside, I spend a lot of time at the computer. I could say on the computer as well as at the computer. You can use different prepositions here. Doing paperwork. Paperwork's just a general term for administration tasks we use now. There's no actual paper on the computer, but we still use the term. And my opinion again, which I'm not such a fan of. So I like the teaching, talking to my students. I don't really like doing the paperwork. That's a little more boring. So overall, It's a good job. Again, my opinion, what I think. But I don't earn much. So this is about the salary and how much money. When we talk about jobs, we can use different words to describe them, and full-time job, part-time job. So here we give an example of other types of work. Overtime, doing more hours on top of your normal job to earn extra money. Or casual work. Casual work is something that you can do outside of a job without a contract. We just do a single job for extra money, and there's no real commitment, so you don't have a contract or anything. So these are some examples of different parts of the job. Let's take a look at a conversation. Here are people talking a little bit about jobs. If you meet someone, so what do you do? That's the same as what is your job? I'm a sales assistant with Honda. So I am a sales assistant. Or as you saw in the previous one, I am a teacher. What is your job? Oh, really? So do you sell cars or motorbikes? When we think of Honda, we think of vehicles. But this person, neither. So I don't sell cars or motorbikes. I work for head office. My team supplies the parts to garages and dealers across Thailand. That sounds like a good job. Do you have to do a lot of traveling? Not as much as I'd like. Most of it's just in the office doing admin and telesales, but I do get out and about once in a while. So our opening question there, what do you do? As I said, that's a common question we ask each other when we meet. So it's very useful. What do you do? What do you do for a living? What's your job? I'm a sales assistant, the job, and also who you work for with Honda. So I'm a teacher with Songkhla Ratchapat University. We can add that information. Oh, really? Use this phrase to show interest and that we're paying attention, we want to carry on the conversation. By asking a question, you're showing interest in the other person. And when we think, as I mentioned, Honda, is it cars or motorbikes? So neither. I don't sell cars or motorbikes. I work for head office. So most companies have a centre or a head office where administration's done. And they supply parts. So it describes a little of what he does. Here we give an opinion. That sounds like a good job. And again, we want to show interest by asking about what they do. So if you cover the whole of Thailand, do you travel a lot? Do you have to do a lot of traveling? The response here, not as much as I'd like, shows us that this person would like to travel more. They want to go traveling and be out of the office, but they don't get much chance. Most of it's just in the office doing admin. Admin is short for administration, and it's the same as paperwork we saw in the last slide. And telesales. Telesales is tele for telephone, making sales over the telephone. But I do get out and about. Out and about means out of the office to travel once in a while. Once in a while is a phrase we can use to mean the same as occasionally or sometimes. So we carry on the conversation between these two people. What about you? Where do you work? So we reciprocate. I don't. I stay home and take care of our 3 kids. My wife's the breadwinner. Oh, really? What does she do? She's in sales like you, but it's pharmaceuticals. Does she like her job? Not really. The money's great, but it's really stressful and she's always on the road. That's tough. But good you can stay home for the kids. So again, here we've got some examples of the phrases. What about you? Means we're putting the question, the same question the person asked us, back to them. What do you do? And we rephrase it slightly. Where do you work? I don't. So I don't work. Some people say, oh, my job is a housewife. In this case, we're saying, I don't have an official job, but he is, in this case, a house husband. I stay home and take care of our 3 kids. This phrase, my wife's the breadwinner. The breadwinner is the person who earns the money in the family. So you might ask someone, who is the breadwinner in your family? Oh, really? So what does she do? So we want to carry on the conversation, but we know the person doesn't have a job. So we're now asking about his wife. What does she do? Remember, because we use does, she is the subject, we use does, not do. She's in sales. Here we have the apostrophe S, she is. And we often use those contractions when we speak normally. She's in sales like you. So he's making a comparison to the other person who is in sales, does the same basic job, but not for Honda. It's in pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are drugs and medicine. Pharmacy. Again, we got asking for an opinion. Does she like her job? And the response, not really. She's not very happy in the job. He goes on to explain a little more and give some reasons for why she doesn't like it. The money's great. So he's explaining, even though, why does she stay in a job she doesn't like? Well, they pay me lots of money. But she doesn't like it because it's really stressful. So there's a lot of pressure. I'm always busy and worried and working very, very hard for the money. And she's always on the road. This phrase, always on the road, means traveling a lot. So unlike the other person who wished they could travel more, here his wife has to travel for her job, but it's not so good. She doesn't like that. And we show a little sympathy. That's tough. So that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. So tough is used to mean it's difficult for you and your family when that happens. But good you can stay home for the kids. So he can afford to stay home because the money is great. So at least there's some benefit. So those are all examples of phrases you can see people using. And you can try using some of these. Just get rid of this ugly one. Try using some of these to talk about your own job. Also, when you get a chance, don't be afraid to mix it up. Here are a few examples of phrases and words you can use. Work. It's very similar in meaning to things like job, profession, occupation, career, or a living. What do you do for work? What is your job? What is your profession? What do you do for a living? So try and mix and match. Vary the way you say things. What do you do? What do you do for a living? What is your profession? What is your occupation? What kind of work do you do? What line of work are you in? That last one, line of work, is asking about the area or type of work generally. So I'm a teacher, or I'm in education. We can use fields, which we'll see mentioned later. You can also ask about the place. Where do you work? Who do you work for? So rather than I'm a teacher, I work at Songkhla Ratchapat University. I work for Songkhla Ratchapat University. Notice with where do you work, we say I work at, and who do you work for? I work for. But the basic idea is the same. Asking about opinions. Do you like your job? Is it a good job? How is work going? Just asking about the way things are with your job. And we can respond good or bad. It's great. It's really good. It's okay. I love it. I hate it. It's fun. It's stressful. It's harder than I thought. Or it's easier than I thought. You can swap. It's better than I thought. It's worse than I thought. So lots of ways we can talk about our job. Don't be afraid to come up with some good descriptive terms that will talk about your job, and that lets you start communicating in English effectively. That's all for our language in use. Hopefully you'll find some of those phrases useful. Thank you very much for your time, and goodbye.